Hello, welcome to Waypoint Survival. Today I want to show you a couple of really cool flashlight hacks. Stay tuned. So as I'm out and about shopping and going through different stores, I'm always on the lookout for ideas that I can use to make things. I love to improvise gear, and I like to do things a little more cheaply if I can, and I like to bring that stuff to you. So one of the things I found is this flashlight, and these were marked down from $9.99 US to $6.49, so about $6.50, not including tax. And it's not a super great flashlight. It is the blood tracker. It's Country Trails. Not sure what brand it is. Made in China, of course. Quite some time ago, so I'm sure it's been sitting on the shelf for a while. It's been marked down. But anyway, 23 lumens, not a super bright flashlight. Only burns 6 hours on a couple of batteries. But as I was looking at this, I got a great idea. Actually, I have a couple of ideas, as I said in the intro, that I want to share with you. So stick with me and let's get to that. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to take this back off, and the button's up here, so it doesn't have a push button on the rear, which is helpful. And this is aluminum. So we just remove this. We take out the rather cheap batteries. They're pretty light. You can tell there's not much quality there. And then what we want to do is remove the spring, and that comes out pretty easy. You just grab it, pull on it, and out it comes. Next thing that we want to do is we take this part of the flashlight then, and we don't even have to take it out of the package, and we unscrew this section. Lay this down. We actually don't need this. We can leave this in the package as is. Now what we have is a hollow tube with O-ring seals on each end. We just take and screw this back on onto the one side, and then taking another flashlight, because we have to buy two of them for this particular project, we just take off the end of this one, lay it aside, pull out the spring as we did with the first one, and now we can screw it onto the other side. And what we have just made is a very lightweight, waterproof, and therefore a floating tube that is perfectly suited for putting a ferro rod, you could put some matches, tinder, or anything like that in here. And so this is a pretty good hack that I put together, and I thought you might want to try that for yourself. If you wanted to, you could drill a hole in one side, put a key ring on it so you can hang it, or you could get a pouch that was flashlight sized, and you could keep this on you, so you would always have something that you can keep your tinder and your fire starting elements dry. Besides that, being bright orange like this, it's pretty easy to see. Even if you should accidentally drop it, it's fairly visible. For the second hack that I want to show you, again, you just leave the one end open and you unscrew the head part of the flashlight, and then taking the flashlight portion here, cut off the section where the threads are using a hacksaw or a Dremel tool, so that you just have a threaded section, just the part that screws on to this here. So that's what it looked like, and we cut this off. Then we take a knife blade, and this is just one that I had made for my Waypoint school. And we take this and we make some slots inside here, and we glue that section using JB Weld epoxy, and we glue this into here. We cut the slots in the end just using a drill and a file if you have it, and you epoxy the knife blade this way. Okay, so now that that has been dried, and you let this sit at least 24 hours to get thoroughly cured out, then what we have here is we have a waterproof cylinder, and we have threads on both sides, and inside the tube, if we unscrew this, what we have is essentially a hollow handle survival knife then. And of course, O-rings on both sides, so this is watertight now, and it will float. So if you're working around water or anything like that, you now have a very effective blade. It's very lightweight. If you couple this with the other tube that we just made from the other two flashlights, we now have a waterproof tube for a fire kit, and we also have a knife, floating knife, that fits very nicely inside of itself. And again, very simple to disassemble. We just unscrew the handle like this, and we take the knife blade, slide it inside, and if you do this right, it goes in quite easily. And tighten it back up, and now we have our two tubes. This one is just slightly longer because of the section that we cut off from the flashlight head, so we could epoxy it together, because again, it has to have threads on both sides for the knife, and there you can see the tip of it sticking out. You don't want to embed that too deep or you lose your threads. So just deep enough to hold it together, and there you have it. A couple of great hacks you can do with some cheap flashlights if you find them. This is James Bender for Waypoint Survival. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also make sure and check out the links in the description box below. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. And when you do subscribe, make sure and press that bell button so that you can stay notified of all of our upcoming videos, and we'll talk to you next time.